Elon just said something at the Tesla shareholders meeting that has profound implications for Tesla's future. Let's listen to what he said, and then I'll break down my logic of how things will play out.
Tesla's open to licensing autonomy because I think autonomy will be such a significant lifesaver and preventer of injuries that it is not a technology we want to keep to ourselves. So I think it will be morally right to license it to other manufacturers if they would like to use it.
So Elon just said that Tesla plans or would be very open to licensing their full self-driving software to other automakers. This is a huge deal with profound implications for the stock and for Tesla's future that I'm going to break down in a moment. Here's how I see things playing out. First off, we have to make this assumption. Tesla solves level 4, which is full self-driving, robotaxi level driving in a geofenced area. So at least level 4 or higher full self-driving first, and at least several years before anyone else. And I'm talking about like large scale, all over the United States, all over other countries, like they're planning to do. And I think this is a pretty good assumption. When you look at other automakers, the amount of vertical integration they have, the amount of engineering talent in these areas they have, and ultimately the overall approach they're taking versus Tesla's approach that has this huge and ever-growing fleet that's building a neural network that can perceive the world. So I think this is pretty likely that Tesla could do this, could solve a level 4 or level 5 kind of system quite a few years before other automakers. So I think it's a good assumption. We have to assume that will happen. Then what would happen is demand for robotaxis will be much higher than Tesla can build vehicles. See, once the first robotaxis roll out, they're proven to be even safer than human drivers, or they reach that level. Suddenly, in a market that might have thousands of robotaxis, in a city and there's enough people using those robotaxis, now they actually want tens of thousands of robotaxis. And that's going to happen all over the world where there's people using robotaxis, relying on them, and then their neighbor would say, I see that my neighbors here is taking a robotaxi everywhere. I would just sell my car and no longer have the hassle of a car, or maybe sell one of our 2 vehicles for our family and just take a robotaxi to work every day. I would much prefer that. That kind of demand for robotaxis and desire for robotaxis will cascade all over the world where robotaxis are. So demand will be huge, that even if Tesla was making already their goal by 2030 of 20 million vehicles a year, even if Tesla was already outputting that many vehicles, there would still be so much more demand for robotaxis than really was available. Next, also, in parallel with that, demand for normal cars will decrease, because by normal car, I mean just a non-robotaxi vehicle. And as people see robotaxis, experience robotaxis, and they decide, well, I don't really need a non-robotaxi vehicle, demand for those kinds of vehicles will decrease. So robotaxis really take off. Non-robotaxis desire for those will really decrease. It really will be, I think, like Elon has described, that owning a non-robotaxi vehicle, it will be like owning a horse, and the horse and buggy transition to gas vehicles back, 100 or so years ago. Okay. Next, what I see happening is that other automakers will gladly license full self-driving from Tesla so their cars are sellable. See, if demand for normal cars is decreasing, and if you're a traditional legacy or a traditional automaker, you're making auto cars, be it electric or non-electric, and you're trying to sell them, they don't have full self-driving, they're not selling well because they don't have this full self-driving capability, and it's not clear on the horizon when they would, then these kind of automakers would gladly say, yes, we will license your full self-driving technology, your hardware, your software, put it on our vehicles, and work together so we can build it into our vehicles or mount it onto our vehicles so that they can become full self-driving, robotaxi enabled. And then at least these legacy automakers can sell those vehicles and make, at least in the value stream, they at least be adding the manufacturing step. They're not adding much more than that, but they would at least be adding the vehicle manufacturing itself, presenting vehicle or other, vehicle use cases to the public. Then what will happen is Tesla will take in all the data and improve their full self-driving even further, because at that point in time, they're not just having their own Tesla fleet, but then non-Tesla vehicles, other automakers are licensing their hardware, their software. Tesla is, of course, collecting and analyzing all the data from this even further growing fleet and using that data to make their full self-driving and their neural nets even better in all driving scenarios all over the world. Then customers will no longer bother with other full self-driving startups in beta mode. So at that point in time, if you're an average customer, once you've experienced a Tesla full self-driving robotaxi, why would you put up with, say, a Rivian vehicle that's still in a beta mode and you're just testing a full self-driving beta when you already have a robotaxi that can safely transport you around? So I think customers are going to turn from, again, these vehicles that are not at least a sort of a level 4 or higher robotaxi. Then finally, and this is the profound implication, the really crux of it all, is that Tesla will own the flywheel and therefore own the entire full self-driving future. So that's how I see it playing out, is that because Tesla is going to own the entire fleet of vehicles that are collecting full self-driving data that can improve the neural network. That's that flywheel effect. You collect more data, you make iterative improvements, deploy the software improvement, then more people, and then you collect more data. Keep repeating that over and over because they're going to own that entire flywheel, and because customers are not going to choose other full self-driving beta startups at that point in time, at least not customers at a large enough scale. See, right now, people are eager to try full self-driving beta from Tesla because it's the best there is. It's really the best option that's out there. But if Tesla already had robotaxi level driving, there's not going to be a large enough scale, not going to be millions of people that say, yes, I'll gladly drive a Rivian car, drive around. It's going to cost me more, cost them more, and I'll drive around in full self or in beta mode, sending you data and feedback and carefully analyzing the car. People aren't going to care or put up with that at that point in time. So then at that point in time, Tesla will have an extremely powerful network effect, and they will own this flywheel of improvement that will just continually make their own full self-driving better, and basically put a moat between them and anyone else trying to come up with full self-driving. It's very similar to how Google's search engine, for example, Google has the best search engine. People trust the search engine, so people continue to use the search engine. And of course, as we use a search engine and we input data to it, it makes Google's search engine even better, continually better. And because we all continually do that, then other people try and come with the search engine and challenge Google, but it's difficult for them to have quite as good an algorithm, quite as good a software piece as Google has. So it's that ever-increasing rate of improvement, So it's that ever-increasing, ever-improving software algorithm that they have that I think Tesla also will have. And if that's the case, the implications are just profound for Tesla. They'll easily become the world's largest company by a long shot, and they could grow, I think, into the tens of trillions of dollars easily in the next several decades. So overall, I'm very, very happy as a Tesla shareholder that Elon said that they would be open to licensing to other automakers, because I think it really kind of seals the deal. If other automakers give up and say, yeah, the only way we can sell our cars is if we license your full self-driving software, then it's going to basically seal the deal where there'll be almost no competitor can come challenge them. And we'll have Tesla robotaxis, or robotaxi hardware software at least, on vehicles all over the world. And if you're an investor in Tesla and you own the company that owns that hardware software, you're going to do extremely, extremely well. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Let us know in the comments down below if there's any flaws in any of my logic here. I really love to hear from you guys. And if you got value out of this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. Once I get to 10,000 subscribers, I will be doing a face reveal. So stick around for that. And especially if you got value, boom, hit that button down below. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, it's in the bag.